How's it going, guys? HumbleZeus here, and welcome to another video where today we're going to be tackling, I think, one of the most asked questions on YouTube, which is, how do I be unique on YouTube? How do I become like a staple of the YouTube community or whatever? How do I become YouTube famous? All of these like different ways of wording the question, and in my mind, they're all incorrect. They're not correct. There's no way for you to do that like right off the bat. There's no way to go from being some small guy who nobody knows your name to all of a sudden the entire, YouTube space is aware of you. It's not possible. There are steps that need to be taken, milestones that need to be reached, goals that need to be met before you can get on your way. And so I think the better question is not how do I, become a staple of the YouTube community, but how do I become a staple of my community? And by my community, I don't mean your IRL community. I mean, like, let's say you're playing Destiny. How do I become a staple of the Destiny community? Or how do I become a staple of the Division community or the No Man's Sky community whenever that becomes like a thing? How do you become staples of those types of communities? Because one of the best ways to become elevated in the YouTube space or the Twitch space is to become a staple of an already existing community or a newly formed community, and then use that to pull yourself up in the next community that comes up after. Or if it's like a really big game, and you blow up with that, then that might be where you stay. But how do you do that? How do you go about doing it? Because it's the best way to do it. And the simple answer is you have to capitalize on the one weakness that all people who use YouTube share. And that is, we're all very, very lazy people. Now, before you click this like and say, Zeus, you don't know my life, I work 3 jobs, shut up, you don't know what you're saying. I don't mean lazy in the sense that you guys are, you stay at home all day and you don't know what to do. But think about it. Let's say you work 2 jobs. Let's just say you do. Say you work 2 jobs and you're going to school. Like, oh my God, you're living hell right now. And you want to play, an hour of gaming a day. But you don't have time to grind. You don't have time to do all this, unnecessary stuff. How do I figure out what the best weapon is? You don't have time. So you go on YouTube to find, what's the best weapon? What's the best attachments? How do I get it? And how do I get it fast? How do I level up fast? Because I don't have time. And despite the fact that you're working like 2 jobs in school, you're finding the lazy way of doing it because it suits you. It's convenient for you. You're doing it the lazy way. You didn't sit down and grind. You found the mission that gives you the weapon and you ran it over until you got it. So now you're like, awesome, I have the best weapon in the game, I have the best thing, and didn't have to spend too much time, figuring it out. Someone did it for me. Capitalize on the fact that YouTube is generally, and by nature, a place for lazy people. Because, at least the gaming side of it is. Because it's very simple to access information that would otherwise be annoying to gather. Weapon stats, lore, all of these things are difficult to get on your own. It's annoying to get, go out and collect all the things. I'm playing Just Cause 3 and I'm like collecting all the tapes in Just Cause 3. It's a pain in the butt, and I've been very tempted at times to go on YouTube and just say, can I just see all the lore in one long video? And it's there. I'm fairly certain it's there because someone would have done it. So it's not like it's not possible. It's just a matter of it's really hard and I'd like somebody else to do it. And that's a mentality that most viewers unconsciously have, because whenever you click on a video saying best weapon or lore to this game, or how to beat this boss, you're looking up ways to save yourself time. That's really what you're doing. Is that bad? No. But can you capitalize on it as a YouTuber? Definitely. Go for it. Now, the question is, how do you do that? Well, as the examples I mentioned before, they're all hard. They're all hard things. And so in reality, you have to overcome the weakness of a viewer. And again, I'm not insulting you, I'm just saying it. That you have to go out and do the hard work. You have to basically take what would be annoying to do for somebody, do it yourself, make it convenient for somebody else to get, and guarantee it'll make it, people are gonna watch it. Because people like, not having to work. Like, let's say, okay, everybody hates buying, buying expensive things because it's annoying. And if you could make it yourself, you would. If I could make, my favorite sneakers, I would do that instead of paying $100-something for them. I don't know how. And if I did learn, it'd probably take me too much time, too much effort, too much money. Let me just let somebody else make it for me. Why not just go to the store and buy it? It's much easier. It's already there. I go, give them my money, and I have my new shoes, and I'm happy. It was easy. And YouTube viewers view it the same way. They don't, recognize it the same way, but they do. They do it the same way. They're just like, I can go out, find the video that I need, pay no money outside of maybe watching an ad, and then leave with the knowledge that I have to go make the game easier on myself. And that's what they'll do. So again, how do you go about, capitalizing on that? Well, first off, you gotta figure out what you're doing. What game are you playing? And what would a lazy person, lazy in quotation marks, be looking for in that game. Let's use the Division. The Division just came out. So what people want to know is, how do I level up quickly? You know, not play through part 1. How do I level up faster in Division? Because I don't have all the time in the world and I want to level up fast. I want to join my friends faster. I want to get to the end game content faster. How do I do it? Now that I'm at the end game, how do I, you know, make the end game fun? What's there to do in the end game? How do I survive better in the dark zone? How do I, you know, where do I find the best weapon in the game? Where do I find the attachments? People want to know these things that are annoying for normal people to go find, because I don't want to grind for 7 hours and not get anything. I want to grind maybe for an hour and get the most out of my hour. So people look that up. How to get blank easy? How do I beat the boss easy? What are the best things for this easy? Like, they want easy information. So when you go into a game that you want to become a staple of that community for, think of what a lazy person would be looking for. Now, you might offer the point, well, people are already posting that kind of stuff. Like, I'm already too late. And now here comes the harder part of the hard part. You have to do it better. This is the kind of divide in terms of, once you figure this out, if your community is already taken, then you have to do the next hard part, which is you have to be better than the people doing it, or at least on the same level as them. So let's use Dark Souls. A lot of people go to Vati for lore. You're using lore for this example. A lot of people go to him for lore. That means you have to be either on par with him or better. And that's the reason I say don't go for a community that's already full, because it becomes hard to do it. Once people have set the bar for something, you then have to match that bar or, you know, surpass them in that area. Like, let's use an example from the Destiny community. I know I'm jumping around a lot, but it's just to make the examples make more sense. My Name is Bife did not do lore ever. Like, I think he barely touched on the lore ever. I saw him do like reviews and things, but never the lore. All of a sudden, he gets in late game at the lore. But what did he do? He didn't just do standard lore. He didn't just do, you know, play the game and read the lore to you. Instead, he got animators to animate the lore. So that way, people had a reason to go to him over, again, people like Sir Wallen, if you know him. There was a reason to go from these people who are already established to him, even though he didn't do lore and he started lore later than everybody else. He's still a people that a lot of people would say, I want to go to watch him lore, because he has the animation, he has the, you know, beautiful art there. He has something to bring people over. He has the quality, even though he was late to the game. And that's something that YouTubers can, again, capitalize on. But it's harder to do because obviously you don't have the resources or the money that he had to do that. So you got to work a little bit faster. And that means you got to work a little bit harder. So this video isn't intended to discourage anybody, but relay what I think is actually a truth of YouTube, especially at this point, which is that in order to do as well as everybody else, you're going to have to work a bit harder to do it, and you're going to have to do it a lot faster than everybody else, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that, you know, it's going to take a bit more time. And of course, there's other ways to grow. You might get lucky and get a shout out from somebody. You might make a really funny video that gets shared. I'm not saying this is the only way, but I'm talking about this is actually a really good way to do it, because if people have to come to you, then your channel by nature has to grow, because people have to come to watch you do this thing, or they want to come watch you do this thing because you do it better than everybody else. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. Feel free to let me know if you agree, disagree, think I'm stupid, think I'm right. Let me know. Don't care. You know, I just want to hear your guys' opinions. So I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys later. Zeus out.